Palestine will be free. Free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free, 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 free Palestine. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state!
Israel is a terrorist state!
Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free
Free Palestine!
Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Thank you everybody for coming out!
But this is a collective action and a collective effort of many organizations who are sick and tired of provocation against the Palestinian people. Our message here today is simple: that the issue is not rockets. The issue is apartheid and occupation. The issue is ethnic cleansing. The problem is day in and day out provocation against the Palestinian people. Degradation, dehumanization, and we're sick and tired. And we're here in the middle of New York City to make it clear that we will not stand for it. That New York does not stand for it. And that we are going to be vocal. We are going to be loud. And we are going to support and defend Palestine. Free Palestine!
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 Thank you so much. So this poem is called My Promised Land. I am of Palestinian descent. I'm a part of the Palestinian diaspora. My family's from Al-Quds, Haifa, and Jaffa. All right, I'm gonna start the poem now. My family comes from Palestine, a land God promised to preserve, where we built mosques and protect the temples and shrines, and birthed a man who resurrected to take the world by storm, only to be torn apart by greedy, selfish hearts. So they fled to a land they cannot call theirs. But should I call it mine? Born in America, bred to assimilate, separate the night from the light, to do and say what you said was right, become the device of your hatred. For so long, I thought Arab was relevant only when you're hunting a terrorist, or when there's a magic carpet to fulfill in your oriental fantasy, all to tarnish my ancestors' legacy, while I questioned my identity incessantly. How could I be a part of a community when I felt the world's back on me, while the shame of my culture cracks my shoulders, trying not to give in to gravity, when nobody could get the gravity of my situation, not to mention those who are behind me, who built this nation, the land of the free. From farmers to pharmacists, scholars to doctors, professors and preachers. I guess what's inside the rear view is closer than it seems. Can you justify death? What is there to defend? That their creed is not yours, nor is the color of their skin, but the blood that runs is just as red. As for massacres, air raids, that they can't live here and at all, so you plaster their skies black and flood their rivers red as long as the green enters. And for what? Your pride? Spite? Rosy daydreams, empty promises of democracy while you champion hypocrisy, a coincidence? We know it's not. The ink of your pen smears the blood, sweat, and tears my people have made in exchange for our accolades that you so claim. The numbers you use to count your blessings, the medicines and remedies for your pain, the sacred maps of time and stars and space, the poems you sing for good tidings, among other things. And what do I have to offer but hand-me-down assets? Why should I be remembered for something I haven't worked for, let alone deserve? I have not earned it, but I have learned this, that I am also their legacy. Their victories course through my veins, their deeds bring my heart to peace, their courage heals my mind to ease, so as long as I remember, it remains. And maybe, someday, somehow, I'll make the future proud. Perhaps unbind the chains and minds of the children trapped by war and apartheid and other crimes, where my family would have been, have not for the sacrifices they saw. Even now, as long as I am here, I will criticize what you subsidize. The colonization and oppression, the suppression of voices like mine, trying to get back what was theirs and mine. I don't want to be remembered for that. In fact, my last name, Al-Aidi, it is Arabic for the one that goes back. That is also my legacy, perhaps my destiny. Until the day I can ever go back, nothing is free. Not for you, nor for me. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hello. My name is Sirin El-Jamal. I'm from Jimzu, Palestine. My family was forcefully displaced in July 1948 and again forcefully displaced in 1967 from Jericho, Palestine. Wow, there's a lot of glare. I'm here today to read a poem called It Runs. It's about the resilience that I believe runs through every Palestinian's veins just from all the trauma that we've experienced, but there's beauty in that. And resilience runs through each and every one of us. And everyone here who isn't Palestinian by blood today, you are Palestinian for standing with us. Bismillah. Hold on one sec. Okay. In my bloodstream, through every capillary and every vein, I feel it burn. It runs. In my bloodstream, out of pride and out of anger, I feel it burn. It runs. From occupation and the trauma of my ancestors, I feel it burn. It runs in my bloodstream, through every capillary and every vein. Out of pride and out of anger, I feel it burn. It runs. As you speak to me, but I can't hear, I feel it burn. It runs. As the blood rushes to my cheeks, I feel it burn. It runs. As my heart pounds from this fear, I feel it burn. It runs as the adrenaline courses through every capillary and every vein. I feel it burn. It runs. In my bloodstream, through weakness and through strength, I feel it burn. It runs. With rosy cheeks and hope heavy on my chest, I feel it burn. Resilience runs. as I throw my rock with all of my strength to combat the rifle that put a bullet in my brother's chest. I feel it burn. I run to reclaim my home with teary eyes. I feel it burn. I run. This land is mine and your tank looks fine, but my rock will fly as I feel it burn. It flies to take back what's mine, because with some time, your tank will die and my people will rise. Resilience flies. Thank you. Sure. But I want to do some chants. That's a first. You got it! All right, first off, a lot of people talk about peace, but there's no way peace can be attainable without justice. And that is why we have the chant, no justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice.
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 Hi guys. Okay. Free, free Palestine.
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 From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Intifada, intifada.
Intifada, intifada.
Long live intifada.
Long live intifada.
Intifada, intifada.
Intifada, intifada.
Long live intifada.
Long live intifada.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Settlers, settlers, go back home.
Settlers, settlers, go back home.
Palestine is our home.
Palestine is our home.
Settlers, settlers, go back home.
Settlers, settlers, go back home.
Palestine is our home.
Palestine is our home.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Occupation is a crime.
Occupation is a crime.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free Gaza.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Ramadan Mubarak. My name is Salma. I'm an organizer with the Answer Coalition. And like all of you here today, I'm outraged by Israel's attacks on Muslims praying at Al-Aqsa and the bombing of Gaza during Ramadan, a holy month for Muslims where we're meant to recommit to our spiritual practice. I'm outraged because we know that this happens every year. Not even a full year ago, we were in Beirut with so many of you, organizing and protesting against the Israeli state for what they did last year in Ramadan of 2022. Every year they do this, and every year we show up to resist because we know that they do this intentionally, that they target us during Ramadan intentionally because they want to break our spirit. They want to remind Palestinian Muslims that they're not safe, not even when they're praying, and they want to punish Palestinians for daring to resist. But what they don't seem to understand after all this time is that there is no way they can break the spirit of the Palestinian people, no matter how hard they try and no matter how well funded they are. Palestinians who go to Al-Aqsa to pray, they know that they're going to be a target of the Israeli state. They know that they're a target of the occupation, and they go so anyway. And it's because they're never going to let the occupation stop them from standing their ground and protecting their mosques. Arabs across the world grow up learning about the Palestinian struggle. So many of us can trace our own politicization to the moment that someone sat us down and told us about 1948, when thousands of Palestinians were forcibly removed from their lands during the Nakba. The Palestinian resistance has always been a beacon of struggle for us and for oppressed and working class people everywhere. As an Egyptian, I would be remiss to not call out the Egyptian government's disgusting collusion with Israel from its unwavering support of the 1979 Camp David Accords, even as Israel violates the terms of that agreement, and for their refusal to ease up the restrictions on Gaza's blockade. We have a duty to not only call out the American government for its endless financial support of Israel, but to call out our own governments in our homelands for what they've allowed to happen, for their siding with the Israeli state and their abandonment of Palestine. Our duty as people living in the United States is to stand firmly in solidarity with the Palestinian people. This means being in the streets, and it means staying in the streets. It means raising the Palestinian flag high everywhere that we go, because we know that it's a symbol for struggle and resistance for people everywhere. Being in solidarity with the Palestinian resistance means that we must understand how capitalism is connected to the oppression of Palestinians. Every year, the United States gives Israel billions of dollars, the majority of which goes to the Israeli military, so that they can use it to humiliate, harass, and displace and murder Palestinians. The money comes right back to line the pockets of the American billionaires who own the weapons manufacturing companies. We know that war is profitable for them. We know that every time a bomb is dropped on Gaza, an American billionaire gets a little richer. And we won't stand for it. Why should the taxpayer money of millions of working class people American working class people be used to slaughter people fighting for their land? We must be able to make this clear to working class people here, to explain that the reason their government does not make food and shelter a guaranteed right is because they're too busy waging a war against indigenous people who are fighting for their land and fighting for their right to self-determination. The Answer Coalition has always put Palestine at the forefront of our internationalism. We understand that the liberation of the Palestinian people is connected to the liberation of working class oppressed people everywhere. And we stand with you today, and we stand with you every day, and we're going to fight alongside you with everything that we have until Palestine is free. So I hope that you all will join me right now to say, long live the Palestinian resistance. 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 Thank you, everyone.
Wow!
And the whole world wanted to cross the Brooklyn Bridge in this lovely weather.
Exactly.